Hello, it's June 16th, I think, and I'm here to make a video for you. Hello. It seems like it's been way too short a time to make a video for me internally. Like, I feel like I should wait another week before I update you, but I said I'd make weekly videos, so no matter how early it feels, here we are. So hi, how have you been doing? I've been doing well. A lot of you said that you're going to join me on my 13-week challenge to myself, accountability challenge, and so I'm really thrilled to invite all of you to join me. However, some of you who are not doing this with me, but most of you agree with what I'm doing, think it's kind of cool and, you know, it works for me, and a lot of you think it works for you too, but there are a couple comments that continue to come in over and over saying this is way too complicated, you don't need to do any of this to lose weight, you're teaching it all wrong, basically. And, you know, it's okay if you disagree with my weight loss method, and it's okay if you think that I should present a more broader spectrum of weight loss concepts to people so they can pick from more options. But the truth is, I'm not out here to teach everyone how to lose weight. I'm out here to share how I'm losing weight for myself because the method seems to work for a lot of people. So if you disagree with my plan, I'm sorry. It's just my way of doing it. And you know, I get a lot of feedback saying it seems too complicated, it seems like too much of a time waste, you're spending all your energy on these charts when you should be spending your energy on weight loss. So I thought I'd speak to that particular kind of comment right here. Because it doesn't take that much time. It really, really doesn't. Now I know when you first start counting calories, it can seem like it just is too overwhelming. You have to learn the calories for everything, you have to track them, you have to like be aware that you're eating and like counting while you're eating. For some people that already seems like way too much to have to handle. But honestly, if you've been counting calories for a long time, you start to really understand how much is in everything. I mean, all grains kind of have similar calorie contents, all fruits, all vegetables, you know, and you can kind of, oils, and you can kind of start understanding these things to the point where it doesn't take very much to track. I mean, personally, I don't even really think about it. Occasionally I have to pull out like a package or something and, oh, okay, what's the calories of this particular cheese? I've never heard of it, whatever. But for the most part, I know what I'm consuming. So it's just a matter of keeping a record of it so I can look back and see my progress. For example, these little tracky, oh, I'm not even showing you the right page. This little tracky notebook, which I used when I was out of town, this is all I do. I hope you can see this if I hold it still long enough. I basically track my calories on one side and Corey's on the other. And the reason this works so well for me is because, as you can see, I barely make any notes as to what the calories were actually for. And usually what will happen is somewhere along the day, yep, it happened right here, I will calculate at some point during the middle of the day or near the end and see like how well I'm doing, just so that I know where I'm at. But this little book takes less than 5 minutes of my day, every day. So every day, the only work I'm doing to make sure I'm on track in terms of records is this little tiny book. 5 minutes, okay? So it really takes no effort in my brain. And then, once a week, I transfer the numbers over to this book, which I guess could be considered busy work, but I have this big book that goes from the beginning of this year almost, when I started really trying to be healthy, and I just want a permanent record in a big thing, because this little book is just for recording the calories and then being done with it. I don't even write dates on it, I just write the day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is 5 minutes a day. At the end of the week, I spend 5 minutes writing in here my permanent big master record. That'll be for, you know, the year or even years if necessary for me to keep tracking and seeing how well I'm doing. Okay, so now we're up to like 5 minutes a week plus 5 minutes a day for tracking. And then at the end of the week, once I add everything to here, I add everything to here. It takes me no time. I mean, it's so little time, I almost don't think about it. But in terms of what I reap as a benefit for putting in the effort, I see that my portions are under control. I see that the amount of energy I'm consuming per day is an accurate amount for the amount that I want to spend and burn off every day. And then I'm also seeing, in a sort of very vague, broad scope of things, how well I'm doing. As you can see, this week I did pretty well. I did 5 days on track with my calories. I did not do well on Wednesday. I was only above by a couple hundred. Saturday I was up at maintain. And I think this is good. My goal is 5 stars for calories per week. So this is like the minimum that I want to achieve. Obviously 7 days a week would be brilliant. 6 days would be A+. So I'd say 5 days is an A. Pretty good. You will see, however, there's no exercise. I'm sorry. And I know that this is an accountability challenge and I need to exercise, and so that's the only place where I know I did not do well at all this week. And I was trying to figure out what to say about that in the video, because I'm not upset about the fact that I didn't work out. I don't care. I feel like I should have, but I didn't make time for it. And that was a conscious decision. On the days when I knew, you know, I really need to get a workout in today, I made the decision, no, I'm gonna do other things instead. So that could be something to not be proud of, but it could also be something to be proud of because I was conscious rather than just whittling away the week and coming to the end of the week and going, God, why didn't I exercise at all? I knew that I was really busy this week and I will be really busy next week too. It just has to do with going out of town, and springtime is the most busy for my business, and then on top of that I'm doing this volunteer stuff until July, which is taking an enormous amount of my free time. So I sort of feel like I need to start exercising, but I also feel like I can't really start until after next week anyway, so we'll see how this week goes. But anyway, so I guess it's hard for me to be disappointed about lack of exercise when I can look at the big picture of my whole life and my whole week and realize over the course of this last week I have accomplished a ton of stuff. And in addition to that ton of stuff that I got done in my life, I also managed to cook all my meals and eat healthy most of the days of the week. And sometimes that's all you can be grateful for, just that you got through it and you know you didn't gain. I know I got through it, and I know that these calorie limits are guaranteed for a small loss for the week as a whole when you look at it on the broad picture. But what I do hope to see is more exercise stickers and more little boxes around those days when I exercise. So that's what I have to report. You know, when we come back to systems, what's really, really important is that you see your progress in whatever way works for you. If it's a chart, or if it's seeing it on your body, taking measurements, or whether it's pumping iron at the gym all the time and then looking in the mirror every couple of weeks and seeing your muscles getting bigger, whatever it works for you. You know, some of these techniques work for some people, some of them don't. For me, it's looking at an overview of a long period of time and seeing really how well I did. Like when I was done with my last chart, I was able to crunch numbers, and I figured out that although for 12 weeks, assuming an average of 1 pound per week loss, I should have lost 12 pounds for the last chart that I had. Only 8 of those weeks were on track enough to guarantee a loss, and I lost 7 pounds. How perfect is that? I really love being able to go back after the fact and run the numbers like that and see, and see that it's actually working, you know? And so this is my visual. And I really feel that we should all do whatever we want to lose weight, as long as we're doing the right few principles the same. How you track, how you report, how you measure success, how you reward yourself, these are on your terms. You must figure these out for yourself, because every person is a snowflake. Every person is different. Every person has some different thing that they react with, and that actually works for them to keep them on track. What you have to keep the same, all of us need to keep our portions in check. We need to keep the quality of our food high, meaning you're not eating the right calories, but it's all in pizza and cookies. You know, you're eating wise decisions, good foods that are actually nourishing your body, and that we're moving. These are the only consistencies between everybody in the YouTube community: eating healthy, eating better choices, and moving. And of course, working on the mindset around continuing to do these things. But the rest is up to you. So I say, why don't we spend less time criticizing the way I am doing my plan and spend more time focusing on our own plans and harnessing whatever works for us into the most comprehensive, tangible system of tracking for ourselves. That's what I encourage you to do. For me, this works great. Also, I forgot to mention one tiny thing. Someone asked what these little boxes on the side were for. They're for me to track the progress at the end of the week. So up here you can see I had 5 days on calories and 0 days exercised. That's just for me to get a nice overview at the end of each week to see how I did. And at the end of the month, I'll be able to do what I did with my last calendar, which is at the bottom here, calculate how many days for each day. So I can find out, for example, what percentage of Sundays were on track or what percentage of Wednesdays were on track. Last chart, my best day on track was Thursday, followed by Monday, Tuesday, Friday. But Thursday was my best day, so I'm hoping this week this challenge, this 13 weeks, I have a couple of days that are like super high, awesome days, and instead of just one. Anyway, okay, this is rambly. I hope this finds you well. I hope you enjoyed seeing a tiny portion of my living room with my crappy free couches with no springs. They're terrible. Someday I'll reupholster them, but they were free, so that's amazing. Okay, That's all. Gosh, I'm so out of the practice of these. I'll see you guys next week and hopefully be in better practice every week until we've gone 13 weeks of 13 videos and maybe 13 pounds lost, something awesome like that. Take care, I'll see you next week.